Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how I make pizza dough. It's so easy and you just need a few ingredients and I'm going to show you how. I start with a cup of water that is about 105 degrees, and then we're going to add a teaspoon of honey, this just helps activate the yeast. You can't taste the honey in the pizza dough. And now we need 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. And I just use this kind of Fleischmann's yeast, and I put it in this container and keep it in the refrigerator. It's supposed to help it to last longer. And so 2 1/4 teaspoons is about a little packet that you buy. Here's 1, 2 1/4. A tablespoon of olive oil. Then we're going to stir it all up and set it aside to get the yeast to activate. That's all you have to do with this part. While we wait for the yeast to activate, we're going to go ahead and put some flour in the mixing bowl with the salt. And it's 2 1/2 cups of flour. That was 2, and then this is 1/2. Level cups. And then we have 1 teaspoon of salt. After 10 minutes, this is what the yeast should look like. Okay, our yeast is activated and we have our flour and salt in the mixer bowl. And so usually what I do is I just use this paddle attachment real quick and go ahead and just blend it a little bit, just to mix the salt and the flour together. And then I'll go ahead and pour the yeast mixture into the flour and get it mixed up really well. Okay, once that's mixed up really well with the paddle attachment, then we're going to swap to the dough hook. This dough has been going for about 5 minutes with the dough hook, and so I'm going to take it out and do a little bit by hand. Do a little bit of kneading by hand. First, we need a little flour on the board. Okay, the dough should be relatively smooth. Okay, and now I'm gonna knead it for just a little bit by hand. You can do all of this by hand if you want to. It just makes it a little bit quicker if you have a mixer. It's really soft. That's what it should feel like. When I used to try to make bread or pizza dough, I never could get it to work because I think my yeast was old and I didn't realize. And so you have to really pay attention to the expiration date on the yeast. As long as you have that and it's not expired and the yeast is still good, then it's really easy. Homemade pizza dough is so much better than store-bought. Okay, this feels just about right. It's just very smooth and it's just kind of soft and feels like a pillow. And I'm just gonna shape it into a ball, just like that. We're just gonna use the same bowl that we used for the stand mixer. Just put a little olive oil in, just to keep it from sticking. I usually turn it over first to get some oil on the top of the dough. And then turn it over. And we're gonna put a towel over it and put it in the oven with only the light bulb on in the oven. You can't have cooked anything in the oven. It has to be completely cold, and just the light on, it provides a really nice environment. So we're gonna wait about an hour and a half for the dough to double in size. This makes 2 pizza doughs, and all you need to do is separate it into 2 balls, and I'll show you how to do all of that. So the dough has been proofing or rising for about an hour and a half, and so I'm gonna get it out of the oven. Okay, it's about doubled in size. All I have to do is take it out, and just because I want to divide it into, and I want it to be even, I go ahead and weigh it. You don't have to, you can just do it in 2 parts, but this is just what I do. So I'm going to turn it on, and I like to weigh it in grams. It's just easier that way. And then when you take it out, it just deflates. It's like a big giant squishy pillow. And then I'm just going to put them in these Ziploc bags. All right, this is exactly half here. One is 304 and one's 305, so I got it right on the dot. And then I just kind of make a little ball out of it and then put it in a Ziploc bag. We're gonna just put these in the freezer, and that way we're always gonna have the pizza dough. But today I'm gonna go ahead and make the pizza, so I'll probably just put these in the refrigerator until I can get all the ingredients together to make our pizza. Okay, now we've made all of our pizza ingredients, and we need to stretch the dough out onto the pizza pan. But first, I like to put just a little bit of olive oil on it, just to make sure it doesn't stick. Oops, that's quite a bit. Then we take our dough out of the Ziploc bag, and I usually just tear the bag. Makes it easy to get out. It smells really good. It smells very yeasty in here. And since we still had a little bit of olive oil on the dough when we put it in the bag, it doesn't stick to the bag really bad, although it's trying to stick to my hands. And usually what I do is stretch the dough instead of rolling it. I feel like it works a little bit better if I do that. So I just want to stretch it. And also you want your dough to be room temperature, so take it out of the refrigerator or the freezer and let it sit out for a couple of hours, especially from the freezer. If you have it from the refrigerator, at least let it sit out about an hour and let it get to room temperature. That way it stretches easier. And for the sauce, I usually buy a jar of just pasta sauce, and I like anything with roasted garlic in it. And you know how you can use a part of a jar and then you end up throwing the rest away? Well, what I do is I put a little bit in these little snack-sized Ziploc bags, and that way I just put them in the freezer, and so whenever I want pizza, I just take it out and just let it thaw. It takes no time at all for it to thaw out. And we don't like just a lot of sauce on our pizza. I like to use fresh mozzarella, and I take it out of the package and then just kind of blot it dry a little bit. It can tend to get damp, and you don't want your pizza to be soggy. So we're just gonna slice it very, very thin. And just add our cheese on here like this. Maybe just a little bit more. Now we want to add our sausage and bacon for the meat pizza. I'm so excited about this pizza because normally I make kind of low fat. So you can do that. You don't have to use sausage and bacon. We use turkey sausage or chicken sausage, and it's still very good. But this makes it really, really good. Bacon makes everything better, right? Okay, and just for a little more flavor, I like to use sun-dried tomatoes. All right, that looks really good. Our oven is preheated to 475, and I put the pizza in with this pan and I bake it for 4 minutes. Then I slide it off and put it directly on the rack so that it can crisp on the bottom. Oh my goodness, look at this. It looks so good. And the crust is puffy. It's not super thick and it's not thin. It's puffed up just right. Now we can assemble our second pizza, which is peppers, spinach, and mushrooms. And again, we're just stretching the dough instead of rolling it out. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this pizza is for me. The sausage and bacon is for my husband, Doug. I love veggie pizzas. Now the mozzarella. You can also use shredded cheddar cheese or Colby Jack or whatever you like. You can also add it with this mozzarella cheese. That would be okay too. These just add so much flavor. I just love them. Okay, same as the other. This goes in the oven for 4 minutes. While the veggie pizza is baking, I'll go ahead and cut up this sausage and bacon pizza. Then I'd love to add some Parmesan cheese. Right when it comes out of the oven. It smells so good in here. It smells like roasted garlic. Oh my goodness, look at this. It looks so good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put some Parmesan cheese on it while it's still hot. Oh my goodness. I like to put some fresh basil. I have some growing out in a pot, and I love to just sprinkle some fresh basil on mine. Okay, that's all there is to it. Pizza dough is really easy to make. You just keep it in the freezer, and whenever you want to have a pizza, you just take it out that afternoon and you have pizza for dinner. Normally, Doug and I, we will share one of these, and it's plenty. I really hope you try the pizza dough. It is so good. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for stopping by my kitchen, and we hope to see you in the next episode.